Hello, you lovely people out there in wherever you are, LinkedIn land or Facebook or X, Mark's the Spot. Or if you're listening to this back on the old Spotify, thanks for doing that as well. We've gone over 70 episodes of this now. Would you believe? What a marvelous achievement that is. Hours and hours and hours of us whittering on, and you've put up with all of it, which is great. Now, before we bring on our very special guest today, who's going to improve everything that we do, un petit peu,
Un petit peu.
Sorry?
I was doing it with a French way then.
You were doing it a French way, were you? Oh, I see. You were criticising my English way to do it a French way. Okay.
Feedback. I didn't criticise. I did what I do with my children when they WhatsApp me. I don't directly correct their messages. I respond back to it with the correct spelling.
Right.
It's
yeah, but the trouble is, I get this all the time from people, right? Especially at home, I get criticism of my voice and everything all the time at home. The one thing that both of my kids have the youngest ones, the oldest ones just don't care, but they always have a go at me about it. They say, "What's that you got to pass at the dinner table, Dad? What is it? What is it you're passing to me?"
What?
And you know what they're trying to get me to say? Salt. And they say,
Salt.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no, it's salt, isn't it? Salt. All right, everybody knows it's salt.
Was here, was like all the time. It'd be I wasn't. So Tim will always say, "What were you? You wasn't. I'm really like this over just like speaking properly."
Well, it is speaking properly though. It's speaking in an authentic tongue, right? You wouldn't talk to somebody that comes from South Africa and whatever and say, "Oh, you're not speaking in your authentic tongue."
And actually, this leads back to what we were just saying, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Exactly.
About what works for one doesn't work for another. But I interrupted you. You're going to ask me something. Were you going to ask me what I did last week? This time last week, actually, I was doing it. I literally was this time last week.
Hey, can anyone guess what Marianne was doing this time last week?
I actually think I know what I was doing this time last week. I was sat on a bus because we had a bit of a lie-in.
Yeah.
Just about to, or potentially just about to go into park number 2 at Disneyland Paris.
Right.
And to go to the is it studios, Warner Brothers, is it Disneyland Studios or whatever?
Nice.
For day number 2 of that. And I think I did 30,000 steps on the first day.
You did, because you told me. That leads very nicely into who we have coming on along as our special guest today, because the clue was in there. Le Paris. Is that right? Is that okay?
I'm not going to say.
Oh no! Come on.
I'm not going to say anything.
All right, flipping Paris, and here all the way from Scotland, Sandra, to teach us a little bit of French. Hello, Sandra.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour. I don't know whether I'm going to do any of this language thing right now.
You will. You know I will help you out, as I always do.
Yeah, thank you. It's frustrating, though, isn't it? It is frustrating, right? We try our best. We try and speak the other language, and, this is what we get. We get people knocking us down.
I didn't, though.
You come on.
She helped you out.
I know she helps out, but it's how we receive it, right? I'm just very sensitive when it comes to
language. So are you to fault or me? Because of the way I see feedback is that you have to accept feedback as a gift to grow.
Yeah, very much.
There we go.
I understand that, but you see, in my head, because I'm emotionally damaged when it comes to languages, right?
We need to fix that, do we?
Yeah. Anything else in life I can take criticism about, but when it comes to languages, can't. And that is to do with French at school, right? Yeah, they absolutely ruined it for me because they, that and maths, those 2 lessons where when you got it wrong, you were punished. You know,
But this is about having trust, which
Yep.
obviously we'll talk about with your teacher. And it's about, that you and I, when we first started working together,
Yep.
When you were teaching me initially how to write posts,
Yeah.
I gave you feedback on your feedback. But also a lot of it came from a position of somebody else had helped me and didn't really help me with that feedback. And so often the pushback you get isn't really to you, it's all of the other stuff, which is why I was saying to someone the other day, when you get people in the classroom as adults, you're actually dealing with years and years and years of undealt with crap from when they're younger often. So that's why it's even more pertinent that when you're teaching adults, whilst people think that it's not a big deal to know how to teach, it absolutely is, because you're dealing with a lot of damage quite often. And so it's about building up that trust that, Sandra, I know that you work with children, but you also work with adults.
Very much.
Almost children are easier to work with if you do it right. But when you're dealing with adults,
They've got inhibition. It's
even
hard.
more stuff because of, as you say, Graham, you're dealing with that.
Sandra, can I ask a question? And thank you for joining us today.
A pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Is this why so many people have taken to the apps when it comes to trying to learn a language? Mainly because, right, although the apps are quite rude to you, some of you apps are really rude.
Yeah, but you can take it because it's a machine.
Yes. Is it because of that? Is it because of the kind of emotional detachment that people get from trying to learn a language from an app? Even though, right, I know that if I spend hours and hours and hours on, the one that with the parrot, other ones are available. That I feel like I'm getting somewhere, and then I realize I've got absolutely nowhere because there's no context to what I've learned and whatever. Yeah.
And you got useless vocabulary that you're never ever gonna use, but you still get it, you still play at it, but there is error and mistake that you make, but nobody knows because you don't actually use it in a situation where you have to, and where obviously you need to get a point through. Whereas with an app, it doesn't matter. It's not survival mode. I bet Marianne, when she was in Paris, pronounced the British way, quand elle était à Paris, she would have to be in a situation where, it would have been big time, like a matter of survival, or okay, I need to get that sorted if I want to live properly for the next 2 or 3 days. Am I right, Marianne? It was quite needed.
Absolutely. It's interesting because I learnt French when I was younger, but my dad, it all started, my dad did O level a year early at school, and he just seemed to have a natural thing for it. And then he was in the RAF and stuff, and then he was an engineer, and he used to go and work over this particular factory a lot. And the man there said, why don't you come and stay with us, because it's silly you staying in a hotel. So he did, and then from then it was just this thing that he would go over. And then their daughter said, I said to you before, he was this man that ate cornflakes, that she just thought it was incredible. This man would come to their house and he had cornflakes, and it just became this thing. And then I then took up French, and I go over every year. And then my eldest, I remember, had like a little French book when he was younger, and I remember he hid it, and I thought he doesn't really interested in languages. And then my youngest, when he was at primary school, did a little bit. They did Japanese, they did German, they did a bit of everything really. And then all of a sudden he starts and he loves French, and he's like really got a brilliant accent. So when we were away, it was him. He sort of wanted to go, but we went to Paris at Christmas, and it was disastrous really, and the weather, it was so cold. So I thought, I'm going to take him back, and my eldest wasn't interested really. And we went on a Flixbus, and we went on the ferry, and we did the tunnel as well. And it was funny because we've sat with Oliver. I would go into somewhere and ask. It was a bit broken because I haven't done it for ages. And they replied to me and he said, what did they say? And I said, I don't listen to every single word.
No,
I listen to the tone. I listened, I watch them, I pick out bits, and then
the
I
word
work
that you know as well. You have to focus on the word that you know, because you can guess loads from that.
I said, so I pick up on what I do know, and then I work it out from there. So it was really interesting, him.
It's quite playful for him, is it?
Yeah, it was quite interesting for him also to see that it didn't have to be perfect.
No,
It didn't
communication, not perfection. And the thing that he saw it in context, it was meaningful. Whereas those apps doesn't get you anywhere. Okay, you get all those tricks and everything, but at the end of the day, you're still not talking the language, and you've got to. This is the purpose of the language, is to communicate.
And it's interesting because I spoke to my friends, because I was saying to her, look, we're coming over. As it was, she was at her holiday home, like all French people do. My other friend that we were going to visit, she said, we're at our holiday home. I thought, God, aren't you French all would be at your holiday homes, wouldn't you, in the summer? And he said, does she understand you? I said, well, between the two of us, we do it. We make it work because, we both speak the language well. But she likes being able to practice it. And as you said, an app isn't going to, it's not going to, that's why I don't really like people learning to teach through e-learning purely. Because how can you learn how to teach from not a person?
I think there's a couple of things. I think you celebrate little wins with the person you talk to over the weeks, over the months, and this is something that machine cannot do. And the other thing is to correct your accent, your pronunciation. The little Schwed's never going to do that for you. And then you all got questions when you learn. And this is important, because if you ask yourself some question and obviously someone physically provide the answer, it sticks with you, you understand better, and you're very likely not to make that mistakes again. And that again, the little Schwed cannot do that. So you can definitely use it, because it improves your vocabulary. There'll be words that you've seen there, which is going to come back. And I get that. It's a good compliment, but it's not enough to actually, use the language as such and build up those sentences with those words. Because sometimes even the basic words, it's not coming before 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Because I know my husband's tried to learn Greek, and we went to Greece. I said, okay, how do we say thank you? They said, I haven't learned it yet. That was after 3 months being on the app. And I said, okay.
Aristo.
Yeah, here you go. See? So somehow along the line, the real nature is to communicate with the word that you need at first. And the basic one, and then everything that you need as a person to communicate about yourself. Not about somebody else, not about, things that you're never ever going to say, because, for example, you're vegetarian and you're never going to ask for a steak. So what's the point to learn it? You need to learn how not to eat a steak. So I need to teach you the negative, but you need to tailor it to what you need as a person, as an individual, to actually talk.
I think the apps, Graham, we've had this conversation before about when people say about young people, how they learn. And I have to go into this sort of, I end up snapping at, it's funny, not my oldest, but it's almost like, because I know that he's doing what he wants to do now, which is music. He loves it. Literally, will be in his room writing music, doing whatever he does, I don't know. But my youngest, I'll go, wow, you're on your phone again like this. But it's because I'm buying into this narrative of a lot of people. I'm sorry to, am I sorry to say this? I don't know. I'm going to say this, but I don't want people to judge me for it. A lot of older people will make a judgment about blasted phones, people on them all the time. But actually, you pointed out, Graham, one day that I think what young people do is they use, whether it's an app or whatever it is, or TikTok, because they're constantly listening to them, constantly. Yeah. One day, I was half asleep one day on holiday, and Oliver was, I said to him, were you listening to Welsh last night, a lesson on Welsh? And he went, yeah, it was just on a TikTok. But I think what it does,
they're lucky to be exposed to it.
Sparks off their enthusiasm and interest for it. And then once they've got that, then they can go on. Yeah. And I wonder if, like, for you, I said to you, like, he's really interested. that some things just aren't. And I wonder as well whether it saves parents quite a lot of money. Like my eldest does music lessons.
Yeah, and grandparents as well.
And I said, do you want to just pay over the holidays? You can pay for your kids to have a few lessons with him and then see if you're going to waste your money. You might not carry on with him, but at least you're going to see if your child actually does enjoy it rather than investing lots of money in something.
Yeah.
So
I think nowadays, because the kids are into device, I do offer the lesson online. It is a screen, but I think what is the better use of the screen to come actually to my French lesson in a classroom environment, because it's nothing different from the classroom. And I think the kids relate to that, because this is the only time where actually parents say, oh yeah, go to your French class. It's a screen, but it's a very educational screen, and they learn so much. And it's very lively. It's very engaging. It's very, it's them taking part of it. It is not like in a textbook where they got hours of learning verbs. It's conversational. They're doing role play. We'll pretend we're in a shop. We'll pretend we obviously have lost the dog. There's so many things which actually they relate to, that they don't even notice that they're actually learning a language. It will be Spanish, it will be Chinese or Welsh. It will be no different. It's that actually that use of the language in a fun way, relating to the age group, in a song, in games. I time them as well when they do the numbers, and they use their phone. And I do count, which is quiz. Again, they use their phone. But it's to use the technology to their benefit. At the end of it, they'll have an amazing French grade, because this is what it leads to. That fun factor, and the program that La Gironde makes is to make sure that they keep going, progress all the way. And then they get fantastic grade at the end. Like all my secondary pupils this year, they obviously all nailed. So yeah, you're right, Marianne. I think it's to combine the technology and the fact that they use the phone, they're exposed to it, but to their benefit. In that fun factor, and you have to live with your time.
Yeah, I think it gives it like he loves planes, so he does plane spotting, and so he's constantly on his phone. He'll be on flight radar, and then he'll say. But it's been great for him, because it's given him that he wants to be a pilot. Who knows? I'm thinking about the cost of it for a start. But the fact is that he's got this bit of tech that is keeping that dream alive. Because he can go and look at the planes, or he watches. I add him onto Facebook groups of planes that they're pictures of them. So then he'll take pictures and I'll put them in there. And it's just it is. I see a lot more, and I have to catch myself criticizing.
Yeah, because you don't know. It might do.
But I don't criticize because I think it. I criticize based on a lot of the stuff that I read and hear. I mean, I just got told this morning. I said to Graham that I put a post on about the she married a baker and got a bun in the oven. She married a whatever, and people joined in with it and they loved it. And this person messaged me and told me that it was what was it? It wasn't ridiculous. What was the word they used? I don't think what word was they used. They said it was.
I think you messaged me with what it was. I think you messaged me.
I messaged you with it, didn't I? And it just was really funny though, because I thought they blocked me out actually because I questioned. Foolish. That was it. It was foolish.
Foolish. That's the word.
I'm trying to find out where I am.
How very foolish of you.
It was very foolish. So this person in the feed said, "This is very foolish to have this on here. This would be much better placed on Facebook." So I actually did message the person and said, "It's really interesting your response to me. Can we have a discussion about it? I'm just intrigued to see why you think it was foolish." Because 500 other people commented that didn't think that it was foolish. They actually thought it was quite good fun. I thought it was great. It was. And
it made you think those details. And once you started, you just couldn't stop. So many, and I didn't want to go overboard, but it actually creates that that creativity that you just generated with that post.
Well,
yeah, and the
it,
emoji.
so I mean, I'd seen it. I had seen it on Facebook, and the funniest thing about it is, and I talk about this time and time again, there's this sheer snobbery of many people on LinkedIn. But although I don't think there are that many on LinkedIn, there's a few that say that, sorry, the dog's just done something that smells. Bless her, it's very hot. But there's this group of people that will say, there's a group of people that will say that this isn't the platform for it. It's more but on Facebook. And I think, well, the stuff that I often see on Facebook that I bring over to LinkedIn is the stuff that works really, really well. So I'm unsure, but there are still a group of people that use a lot of the Facebook stuff that still criticize Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, but you like it. So why don't you just say, like, why does this have to be Facebook against LinkedIn?
Well, stay tuned, folks, for more information about Sandra's business, right? And a competition where you can win our LinkedIn sales training for free if you give us your Duolingo score.
Wow.
Right? Because we'd love to know what you've managed to achieve on the old Duolingo. If you've played on that app, other apps are available, but we'd love to know.
So I thought that was really the creativity bit. So just before we came on, we were having a conversation about emojis. So I put a post out there saying about how, you know, I like using emojis, and actually how having an emoji in your name can make you more memorable to people. And a lot of people do it. Some people evidently think it's foolish. Oh well. I think the post is foolish. So so explain who you are using emojis. So it was because I one day had started off using an emoji, and they haven't got brown hair though, or red. It will be more red because I'm dyeing it again. It's annoying, actually.
You can click. It's only on the phone. You can click and change the color of your hair.
No, there isn't. They only So if you put the hair color one, it's only. But I'm not gonna lose sleep about it. So it was that's my nod to my appreciation for qualifications and standards. The qualification is about a standard for people that want to say I'm snobby about it. And the sparkle was that someone said to me, I always bring such sparkle. So, but it does, psychologically, having emojis will, for some people, it will make them more memorable if you want to try and remember that. So I know that I often I might remember part of someone's name or something, or there'll be a lot of people that are a Charlotte or a Sarah or whatever it might be. But then I'll remember that they have that particular emoji. But it also tells people about them. And then we were having a conversation. I said, I love because
I love emoji as well.
I just like the red one. I like the
and I was trying to find the magic wand because obviously I'm, passionate about teaching French, always been 16 years now, so I can call it vocation now. But I do have a bit of a magic touch because I think I listen to people, how they want to learn, what they want to learn.
I like it
with the magic wand though. I think that is just the final touch. But I put a bow onto that heart because I love people. I love to look after them.
I think that's
my big part. Yeah.
I think that. But what I was saying was, when we came on, I remembered I had these. So it was these emoji.
I want one of them.
What's it called?
Emoji conundrums.
All right.
So and then this is the
I'm glad I know how to pronounce that word.
Phrases version, and this one's a movie version. I think I've just got the two actually. I think that's what. So, but then I had an idea. I'm such a teacher. Honestly, it's embarrassing. Honestly, people. I am fun at parties, but I just feel as if I turn everything into. That would be a great way of learning. Yes, I don't know if it needs it. I don't know. So,
shall we have one?
So. This one here, we've got a cat, and then we've got an exit symbol, and then a bag. So you know what it is because I showed you earlier. So that one would be the cat's out of the bag,
Cat's out
So
the
there's loads of
bag.
different ones in here. Then I had an idea. I said to Sandra, "Oh my gosh, this would be great for you because."
Yeah, can't
And
wait.
it kind of linked with it all was that you can get your students to so they work out what it is anyway. So the kids love this kind of stuff, and adults do as well. I think this is why these are great. And then you get them to work out what it is, and then you get them to work out. So you could do it with the they could do it in their own language.
Yeah, the French.
Actually,
Yeah,
what we
Elefante. Edouard. Is that right?
That's an in symbol.
Oh, it's in. I thought it was right. So
it's dans. Yeah, no, because you should be So dans. And you know the word for house, yeah?
La maison.
Voilà. See? And they could make up their own one and the other could guess, which would really
But the other side of it is, and I know that you've got posts coming out, or will have been out actually, where there's not all countries have the same phrase.
Yes,
which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So my point there was that if it is different, so you could come up with something, and then they could work out what it is, and then they could then work out what it would be in English as well.
Yeah, can I say one just for fun? Because I know there's some polyglot like watching Graham a lot. Il pleut comme vache qui pisse. So did you hear? Il pleut comme vache qui pisse. This is one of my favorite adult learners.
You can't say that on air.
The difference, we would say it's raining cats and dogs, but you say it's raining like the cows are weeing or something. But
That's it. Yes, it's up. Yeah, you're right. And
that is quite filthy. I think. Yes, but you know what? Actually, I've just thought that actually
would be with great force.
Yes, but I actually think this is a great selling point. I'd never considered this before. We should do filthy French. I mean, it's a great bit of alliteration as well. Yes, we should do. Come on.
I'm the nice teacher teaching the kids, the teens.
Yeah, if you'd like to learn filthy French with Sandra, just let us know.
And I do this one. Can you work out this one?
What's this?
Marianne, thank you, Marianne, for changing the subject. Alors, c'est quoi? C'est cheetah? Oh, this is hard.
Oh, that's hard, isn't it? Cheetah.
Cheetah. Forbidden. Like
is that a cheetah?
And,
I can't see. Can you get?
Maybe it's a panda. No, it's not a panda. Black and white.
If you're, by the way, for inclusion purposes, if you're just listening to this on Spotify now, you're going to be rubbish at it.
There's a picture of some sort of cat that could be
some kind of cat,
or leopard, or
and then
leopard,
and then no.
Oh, the leopard changes color. Yeah, there's something like this.
Leopard changes his spots.
Voilà, that's it.
Does it or doesn't it?
Oh,
sorry.
What does this mean? That you can or can't do something.
Oh, a leopard can't. Something can't change the spots.
A leopard can't change the spots.
Yeah. Can't change his spots. Voilà, super. Super. Oh, I love those. Honestly, I need to get the French one.
There we go. There is us proving that we are absolutely useless at emojis.
That one looks a bit rude.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course. Everybody out there knows a great French card game, don't they? Because everybody knows Uno.
Is that French? The love. I'll always play with my,
Uno!
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of you cheat. Do you? How forgiving are you when you play Uno with someone if they don't say Uno before it moves on?
Well, unforgivable.
Unforgivable. Right. They're out.
They have to say Uno.
Well, they're out of the game in our house. If it
moves out of the game, that's a bit harsh.
No. If it moves, if they are down to Uno and they don't say Uno before the next person has their go, and then someone calls it on them, they're out of the game. Simple as that. That's the rules. Look it up.
What I will say as well, though, you see, I had various French teachers, and so I did French A level on course to get an A. I was fluent, and I got a U. some. Well, that was my 18th birthday present. That was. I got my A levels on my 18th birthday, and I failed. It turned out in the end I wasn't very well, and they actually should have looked into that, because to get a U, you've got to pretty much not even turn up. But it was one of the best things that ever happened, turning things round, was that when I went back to college, so I went to America for a year and I worked over there, and the French can't say, no, sorry, the Americans cannot say my name. The French,
your beautiful French name, Marianne.
And the Americans ruin it by going Marianne. They can't actually say my name. So anyway, I came back, and I went to college and did French, and I had the most amazing teacher, and she was French. And she would I've still got some of her notes up in the loft, actually, because, and I must get them out for my youngest. She would handwrite all of her notes, and we had to learn vocabulary. We had to learn every single lesson. We did vocabulary. We had a vocabulary test every lesson. We knew that we were going to have it. And she would give you a list of vocabulary, and then you had that test. And my vocabulary was amazing, because we learned. Let's just say we were doing, and we had different topics we were doing about. And she would literally teach us virtually every word that there could be vocabulary-wise on that. And she did grammar. And so you just kind of knew you just had some way of being able to say something, because if you knew your grammar bit was
just
there,
use it. Yeah,
you literally could just pick. And even if, like Oliver will say to me sometimes, how did you know the word for that? I said, I didn't. I said, but I was able to say it's not this, but it's similar to this.
That is really
it's a bit like saying, give us a clue a bit, really. Yeah. But what I do know is that having an actual French teacher made all the difference. Yeah. I really think learning from somebody that's French, you just
totally agree. Let's just go back to LinkedIn a minute. All right, I got a bit of a challenge for Sandra, seeing as she's here. So this is one of my favourite posts of mine this week. All right, which was the wall-to-wall carpets and rugs one. I don't know whether you saw that. Okay.
No.
So that's obviously, it's a play on words. His name is Wall to Wall, and right, he obviously does carpets and rugs, and it goes from wall to wall. It's very clever, and people have commented on it. Lots of people have commented on it, and then people started putting other shop names on there that were particularly good. Curl Up and Dye Beauty Salon. That's a really good one. A shack. I've got to be very careful how I say this. A Shack of Sit, which is a really great shop in America, and things like Barbara Streisand, which is obviously somewhere where you go and get your hair cut as well. A few other ones in there. Amy's Wine House that sells liquor. That I love all of those. Any French shops with great French names that we should know of?
Oh, just one came up really naturally. It might not be great for everyone, but it just came up in my brain. My brother, who passed away, of cancer, his name is Armand, and there was that shop name called Armand et Thierry, and his best friend is actually Thierry. So that shop name always stayed with me. So sorry, that's the first one which came into my
no, that's a
brain. So
that's a
maybe
wonderful
it's not going to
story.
relate to everybody, but if there's any Armand and Thierry, then he will. But that's really French name for you. So sometimes it's those names where it actually reminds you of someone. And it was a close shop, really smart shop. So I still have something when I pass. I'm like,
so you've just proved the point that Marianne was talking about a minute ago, which is that people say, and Marianne, by the way, I think with your T-shirt printing, you need to print some T-shirts that go, we post Facebook posts on LinkedIn. I think I think we should do those T-shirts. I think that'd be great. And the people, if you want one, we'll do a price for you. If you'd like to buy we post Facebook posts on LinkedIn because you're along with the ride, then let us know and we'll take orders. But just proved a point, which was that and we see this on some of these posts that we put out.
Mm.
They might start off as quite light-hearted, but sometimes by giving permission to people to actually open up and share a bit more of themselves, we sometimes see some very beautiful conversations. It's not all just comedic level, but people actually sometimes just share stuff that they wouldn't normally on a post about Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, because you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't.
No.
And what I really love is that I've got to know there's quite a few people that come back to my posts that you know, and I do look long and hard, the same as you do. I look long and hard for the right ones.
Yeah.
I have to look for the right ones. I look for ones that I don't want to cause too many rows. I want to. That's not what the purpose of those are for. I'm not criticizing people that do that, because that's what people want to do. But I know that I don't want it to cause too much conflict, and I don't want it for me. I have to try and post things that aren't going to make me feel too much that I'm going to have to jump in because I'm not going to row with people, and that's not what I want to do. For me, I do those posts because I do my businessy ones. That's over there. We do the podcast. But for me, this is my networking, and it's great because I've got to know lots of people on there. And like, I like it then if I will tag people. So the one that said about God, so one lady said that it's not what she does now, but she's got a flower emoji. And she said, I've got mine on there because I used to be a gardener. It didn't earn me loads of money, but blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh gosh, Trudy Martin, I think her name is. So I tagged her and I said, a fellow gardener. And that was great. The funny thing was that Trudy put on hers, she said, fell in love with a gardener and she trimmed my bush beautifully or something like that. And so lots of people put stuff, and she said, well, I didn't expect people to laugh. But it was so great, though, because it allowed people to show a side of them. So, not that side. It allowed them to show, as you say, Graham, a side of them. And I see quite a lot of suits. And I'm doing the bunny ears there for anybody that is listening to this. That there's a lot of people that would ordinarily come from a very corporate background that probably aren't allowed to speak like that.
Yeah, of course.
I tell them when they come on my training, why can't we just let people be what they want to be? If you don't create an environment for somebody to be able to be fun and engaging, people come on my training and they go, oh God, I thought it was going to be really boring. And I said, yeah, that's because most training you've been on is boring, because people deliver training in a boring way because they don't know how to do it, because they feel like it's safer doing it that way, or because they've been told to. And then when they leave my training, they then go back to their workplace and say, do you know what, the way we're doing it doesn't work.
Now, listen, I was to some extent over egging it right at the beginning of the show, but I'm going to come back to that because I do believe, and we put out a post on your account over the last day or so as well about me talking last time when we did this about the training crisis that will happen out there. And I do believe that a training crisis is about to happen. I do believe, Sandra, that, you know, a lot of people will avoid learning a language, right? Because of some shame that they've had put on them in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
By really bad teaching.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's where we're at in society at the moment. What Marianne and I am seeing from lots and lots of conversations that we're having is that organizations are taking the easy route with people, right? They're choosing personality over professionalism. They're choosing sort of, you know, likes as opposed to real results when it comes to training, because people just feel more comfortable about it. But actually, there's got to be pain if you're learning something.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
And effort. And
it feels as if. So you know, when you talked about the app, it's something I'm going to post about.
Yeah.
That the whole learning process, it feels like we've. There's a couple of things here. It feels like people want a quick fix, and learning is a quick fix. Somebody, Jordan from America that I've been speaking to, he is posting quite a lot of the similar things. And again, one of his posts, there's a lady that trains trainers, and she said we ought to sort of, link up. But that, like you just said, you want to do something well.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come out of your comfort zone for a bit.
And go through the mistakes. And learn from the mistakes. There is no other way.
But also, you've got to want to. So a lot of the people that say to me, I'm good with people, I don't need to learn how to. One of the ladies that responded on his post said, just the same as, like if somebody's, it wasn't the electrician one, but it was something like that. And I said, oh, that was it. To be a chef, like, it's okay if you could just cook. And I said, the minute you start charging for whatever it is you do, I believe that's when you should take the responsibility to be better. But when you said about the app not giving feedback, and I was there was a couple of things there but also the learning bit. I've been I bowed down, I'm going to say bow down, to go to have some counselling, therapy, whatever you want to call it. I actually think it's quite coaching-y, like actually what she does with me, but I think that's because of me. Some other people would need counselling. And I've been going for weeks and weeks, and I go and I invest in me for that hour a week. I also invest in me by going to the gym. That's investing in me. I invest in me by going to sit and have a cup of tea with my neighbour each day. People say you're lucky to have that time. I said, I give that time.
And you take it.
I go and sit with him, not in my own home, because people will want me. But yesterday I came back to her and I said, I've tried this, I've done this, and a lot of the stuff that I go to her about actually ends up being me dealing with other people throwing their undealt with stuff out, because I think that's what people do a lot of. They don't deal with their own stuff, and so they project it on to people. And actually a lot of that happens with teaching. When I speak to a lot of trainers and I say, why did you do it that way? Why were you hard? A lot of ex-military people, well, and I say, but did it work for you? Well, it made me tougher. I said, but did it actually work for you? Did you feel like you learned better? No. I said, well, why are you bringing it back? And so yesterday, when I put into place, because I've learned over that period of time, I cried because I was proud of myself. And she said to me, I'm really proud of you. And no app can do that.
You've done that very much so.
When that person's gone on that journey with you, because that's what learning is. And do that for free. And I was thinking about this I was driving yesterday, and that's what I was thinking, that actually when you're learning and you've got somebody teaching you who really is invested in you, that knows. Actually, when they say I'm proud of you, what they're saying is, I've seen you at the beginning.
Thank you as well. It's a way of saying
I've seen you at the beginning. I saw where you started from, and now I see what the hard work you've put in. And when you say I'm proud of you, that's what you're actually saying. You've been there for that whole journey.
The same, Marianne, when I've got someone very nervous, I can tell. They want to. Some of them have to, because they've got a partner who's French. They've got a house waiting for them in France, or they're about to move to France. So they've got to learn the language. And they are mortified. I get it. I was mortified when I moved to Scotland and I couldn't speak English, even after 9 years of studying it. And if I had someone, when I came in, to welcome me and say, okay, this is the method, this is how I can help you, this is what you're going to do every week, encouraging me, taking little win at a time, celebrating with me, I would have loved it. And there wasn't such a thing 30 years ago. But now, when I meet someone for the first time, after half an hour, I can judge the level. I can find out why they want to learn French, how they're willing to learn French, which is not the same, because some of them are now through structure or homework or method. They just want to converse. So I do have different courses to adapt the level, to adapt the way you want to learn it. And the journey just starts. And the relationship I've got with them is just blooming and blooming and blooming. And like you said, Marianne, when I've got a little WhatsApp message from one of my learners from Paris, all in French, no Google, all in French. I can see the mistake. I know what we've learned. I'm like, wow, this is so superb. And then she sent me a picture of what she's been eating because we discuss it in the course. It's just meaningfulness. It's really meaningful. It's just you know that you've been doing something with them, for them, not for you, but for them. And it's something as a gift, because I wish I had that, and I'm offering that for someone who's maybe in the same situation as I was. And I'm thinking, lucky you. So embrace it. Come.
I think that's why the teachers, when you get people that teach and have taken the time to learn, like I said, I hear so many people out there that are trainers or teachers. But I say teachers of adults, therefore trainers. But I say, but hang on a minute. If you think teachers should be qualified if they're teaching children, why should they not be? It's about knowing that process. It's about, as you said, it's about understanding.
Why?
And about having, do you know what it is? I get back to this always. It's about learning, and therefore you can be sure why you're doing something.
Yes.
And I will feel confident then.
And your objectives, because not everybody's got the same purpose of learning something. And if you get that one wrong, that person's not going to stick.
Exactly. If you don't know why you're, know why you're doing
that's
what you're
right
doing,
first.
teaching, but that only comes from knowing, having learned why you're doing this or that or the other. And I think far too many people, I think the problem is, one of the problems with the world is that people want to, lots of people want to make money from teaching. Let's be fair. Every man and his dog is writing a training course, you know, and I'm working with Michael on this ADHD course. And a very, very amazing moment happened yesterday, and Michael won't mind me sharing it, is that we sent the stuff off to be CPD accredited. And it's been quite a long journey, because ideally, I would work with somebody, anybody that wants to work with me, you can, right from the beginning. So somebody would say, oh, I know lots about this. I'd like to write a course on that. And then they would run along to someone like me and say, can you help me? And I would sit there with them and say, right, let's look at your aim. Let's look at your objectives. I will then scaffold it for them. They will then put their bit on, and we can, I'll write the lesson plans, because it's what I do. It's what I know to do. And it will be quicker. The problem is, often I get people, it's a bit like probably a builder trying to fix a brick wall. They'd be better knocking the whole thing down and rebuilding it, trying to bodge it, if you see what I mean. But so many people now think they make money out of it, and they're not doing it well. Whereas actually, if they collaborated with people,
with an expert,
you would get to where you want to a lot quicker. It's like you working with people that maybe going to buy a house abroad. Yes, they could do the app and everything, but let's be fair. Most people will not find the time to do it. Even then, you know, aside from it, they get interrupted. But the same as me, initially with my counselling, I saw it as, got counselling again. Now I love it, because I go and use it as my moment to celebrate all of the things that I've put into place, because I'm using it as a chance to learn. And I think that a lot of people don't do that. And what they don't see is that by investing in yourself, because that's essentially what you're doing. When you learn from a person, you're investing in yourself, and you will get to the end, not only quicker, but actually, particularly, let's just say a company decide to.
Yeah, but you will be guided in the right way, though, and that's what you need.
What you can do is tailor that. You can tailor training. So I might go into a care company and they say, right, okay, you're doing Mental Capacity Act training. But actually, what I can do is drip other stuff in it. They might say, we're not sure about what their knowledge is on this or whatever. And I can put that in. You can't get that from e-learning. You can't get that.
No, it's very different. Yeah, no.
I do
feel by talking to the person, it's by chatting and finding out and asking the right questions. That's why I call my first initial call discovery, because it works both ways. I'm discovering everything about them, and they're discovering everything about what I've got to offer to actually help them. And without that, I don't think people should sign up onto a course like this. They'll waste their money. Don't, because it might not be for you, and it might be It might be the wrong stuff that you're going to turn up one day and 1 week, and it'll be a waste.
I mean, I'm going to be doing mine via e-learning, but with videos, because if you can't beat them, join them, but do it better. So I'm doing it with videos. And there are some situations that if I knew that somebody was very experienced teacher, then after having a conversation with them, I might say to them, actually, this probably would work for you. I'm doing a learning and development course online, largely because I know that there is a lot of the stuff in there that I already will know. But already I'm biting myself on the bum with it because I haven't found the time. Yeah. But I do think that something needs to happen, and you're quite right, Graham, that it really is a problem, because so many companies now are investing. If you're not even training or educating your trainers or teachers, what kind of, like, where do we even go? Like, where do we even go with that? So if you're teaching people and you know how to teach, but if you're going to charge people, surely if you're going to charge people to learn from you, shouldn't people invest in themselves? Shouldn't they?
And I don't know you, but the number of times I've been to a training which was not to my industry or what I was doing, I had to mentally think, okay, how can I apply that into what I'm doing? And that was like not even an hour. It was like an all day. By the end of the training, I was like, what was that? That was not for me.
And that's because you know how it should be done.
That's it.
So when people,
the trainer should have looked into our industry. They should have done the work. Okay, what would they benefit because they were not bad trainer. The delivery was fantastic. The content was good, but it was not for us. And
all of that is part of being part of that is sometimes saying, I've said no to work before because I've said, you know what?
That's not for them.
I know, because I'm not going to do it justice.
You could adapt it, but you would have to do the work as a trainer before. And that's why I do as a teacher. I am not saying, okay, this is for you. I'm actually saying, okay, what do you need? Okay, well, let's see. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. It's almost like a kind of like a tailor-made teaching plan. Because
but that's why. Because
I think
when you're a teacher,
you can do that with all the means that there is.
If you're a teacher, you've had to do that. And I'm not criticizing trainers, but if you are somebody that's like a jobbing trainer, as in you've just picked it up, whenever I say to those people, let me look at your lesson plans, they kind of look at me. But you and I both know that if you've worked as a teacher and you've had some kind of inspector looking, you cannot get away from that. So then when I say to people, okay, well, how do we know that it's doing what it should do? They kind of look at me and I'm like, but and I know that Michael said he's now promoted me to go and work with other people. I'm working with a GP now to work on a course, that it's about making sure that thing does what it should. And if it means collaborating with somebody, if you're brilliant at whatever it is you're brilliant at, you be brilliant at that and then get somebody else in that's brilliant at their bit. And then you can come up with something brilliant.
That would work too. That would work as well.
But it's just, I do think it's people wanting stuff quick, fast. Let's just do it fast, but not seeing that the end result in the end is
it's not
people not,
and it's a waste of money and time.
You see it, Graham. That the people have picked stuff. I think that, and the crisis we've got now is that people don't want to be teachers because the money isn't as good. Because do you know what? Young people will see that I can go and make a bit more money doing this and this and this, but actually, it shouldn't be that way round. It feels like companies are investing in stuff that is just stuff and fluff.
No, absolutely.
Stuff and fluff. That's good, isn't it? I think.
Stuff and fluff. There's another T-shirt that we ought to do. Right. Just before we finish off today, two things. One is we'd like all of you, if you have, I'm going to show it again, comment. If you see this going out, comment with your best scores on any language app that you're on, and we'll pick someone to win a free access to our LinkedIn training. It's worth £100. You could win that. all you got to do literally is put your name in there and what your best score is. It doesn't matter what language it is, Eva. We'll take whatever language. Let us know what language it is. If it's French, all the better. We'd love to know what's the best score you've done, or what's the longest time that you've done it without stopping. That would be great. I'd also like to say today, and thank you so much, Sandra, for coming on. I'd also like to say that I put a post out this morning on my poll, and I was asking people about connections on things like LinkedIn, and do people consider that the connections could change their life? That next person you connect to could change their life. And 48% of you said, "I've never considered it." What's the matter with you? Are you nuts or something? I mean, the whole thing, the platform is called LinkedIn. LinkedIn. That's the whole purpose of the platform. Just consider this for a minute. If you're a parent at home over the school holiday period and your children are driving you absolute nuts at the moment, what better thing to do than to put them into language lessons with Sandra, teach them a skill before they go back to school. There's one way that Sandra could actually completely change your life at the moment. You could get your life back. It's that life changing. Secondly, what if you have studied French in the past? You're reasonable at it, but you're a little bit rusty and whatever, and there's an opportunity out there for a bilingual job. You might be able to go and work in France or whatever, actually get some sunshine. I mean, actually, we've done quite well this year, but we all know next year it's going to be freezing cold. So if you want more sun and more fun for the future, and you've got an opportunity to work, why not get on a course with Sandra? Get your French back up to scratch. There's another way she could change your life. What if you could just learn French so that when you were at parties and whatever, you knew what the actual food was? That is life-changing. Whichever one of those reasons you need in order to change your life with Sandra, make it happen. Connect with Sandra today.
Happy.
Can I just say something? Sandra, have you ever seen Emily in Paris?
Oh, very much so.
But isn't that a prime example? Emily in Paris is brilliant. And
I love that.
My 12-year-old watches it with me, and of course he wanted to watch it again after we went to Paris again.
I love those stereotypes.
That is a prime example, though, of where when you she sort of wants to, but how you can be not mocked, but you can gain some respect by learning, and how people will be so much more respectful of you if you take the time and effort. Because I know there's off there.
Even if you try, it's very flattering when you try. Even if you say one word, and I'm, talking to Graham. Anyway, you say it, you try it, it just touch something.
Sandra, quel épisode formidable du podcast A Better Way of Life.
Okay.
So watch Emily in Paris, and you'll see why. If you learn to speak the language, you'll get more respect.
There we go. For those of you who don't know what I just said, need to ask Sandra.
Formidable. We understood you. Formidable.
There we go. We will be back. Same time.
Thanks for having me.
Next week.
Nice chat. Nice chat as well.
A
bientôt.
Bientôt. Not just
A bientôt.
Sorry?
A bientôt.
Oh, no, you got two teachers.
A bientôt.
Yes, see you soon. A bientôt.
Okay, folks.
Graham, a bientôt.
Sorry?
A bientôt.
A bientôt. That's what I said.
You see, he's got an ear for it.
Listen, folks, stop pointing at croissants and shops. Stop. Stop. Don't go to France next time you're on holiday and just point at everything and go.
Come down with me.
Una, s'il vous plaît. Right? Learn a bit of French. It just makes us all look a little bit more civilized, doesn't it? All right. If that's you, if you want to prove to the rest of the world that you actually are a human being, not just a sausage, then get to know Sandra better. We will be back next time, next week. With more of the same. Until then.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Bye for now.